go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Codex Station. It's Comic Character of the Week. I'm your host tonight, Sal the Slab Guy. Right next to me is our High Evolutionary J-Dub. But tonight, we've got a special guest star. Uncanny Derek Comics himself is joining us for Comic Character of the Week. How you guys doing?
Great. How are you guys? Thanks so much for having me on.
Hey,
No problem.
Yeah, man. Like Uncle Gary says, the first time it's our fault because you came on our show. The second time, that's your fault. That's your fault.
I'm getting paid to do this, though. I was promised money.
Contact Dan Kelly Art.
Dan Kelly Art. You'll get an extra special drawing from Dan Kelly himself.
Yes.
All right.
Commissions.
As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we are short two. Uncle Gary is out tonight, and also Dan is out tonight. So I do have Dan's information, but Uncle Gary did not submit any information, so it'll be just 4 cards and titles and stuff like that tonight. So, but that's okay. We can make do. We do. We don't have a Archangel or Angel figurine, do we?
No, because I'm not Uncle Gary. I don't have that kind of money.
I know. Seriously. He's like always has the character. Okay. I could draw one really quick. No, no, you don't want me to draw one. You don't want me to draw.
The Tom King of slabs is going to draw us.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's a stick figure with a wing.
How did you guess? How did you guess?
I just realized I got to run chat tonight, so
yes, you have to run chat. Yep. You have to run chat. Well, do you want to do some business? Get the business out of the way first before we get warmed up.
Yeah, that's fine by me. What's going on, Doug? Thanks for joining.
Oh, yeah, man. Welcome to the show.
I was about to click the next one, but it was Derek, so I was like, "That's not how this works." He's right there.
I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm ready.
He's here and in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. All right, very good. Well, as you know, I'm your host, Sal the Slab Guy, and when I'm not here on the Codex Station, you can always find me under YouTube as under Sal's Comic Corner and Instagram as the Slab Guy 77. So you can check me out in both places there. I usually update both, but sometimes I don't. But I could definitely find my stuff there. Down below, Uncanny Derek Comics. Why don't you tell them where they can find you and what you got going on? Get your cards up there, huh? Boom.
There it is.
It surprises me still to this day we got this technology.
Yes.
Yeah. I am on Instagram and YouTube at Uncanny Derek Comics, and I actually have a video coming out tomorrow that is coincidentally kind of what we're talking about tonight, but it's the top 10, my top 10. I argue it's objectively the top 10 Uncanny X-Men covers of all time. So that's my video for tomorrow morning.
Nice.
That's got a sale watch all over it right there.
Yeah, that does. So there's his YouTube, just at Uncanny Derek Comics. Same thing for Instagram. So please go check him out, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie, why don't you tell everybody what you got doing and what you got going on?
I have too
Who
much,
are
man.
you? Huh?
I don't even know anymore at this point. I'm so exhausted that it's just but you can find us at thecodexstation.com. It's your one-stop shop for everything Codex. Get some merch, meet the team, let us know what you like and don't like, and find us on the
would that be the socials?
That'd be the socials.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, we here at the Codex Station are just absolutely dripping with the socials, just dripping off of us, and we just want nothing more than to give them to you all. So all you gotta do, boom, click that like button, and you got it.
Yes, and for everybody out there, new merch store is going to be happening and opening at the end of the month. So more info on that coming out. You guys get some more swag. Can't figure out where it's at, but it's right there. But yes, send us your money so we can make this little channel do more things and get better equipment. Because I'm tired of cords.
Yeah, no. Send me that link, Jamie, because I need to update the website with the new one. So
yes, we will definitely.
Correction, I got to have Uncle Gary do the website.
The tech man of the year,
the tech guy of the year for us. Yeah,
he's voted for that, isn't he? Tech of the year.
Yeah, it's
not the CBC award, right? Tech.
Yeah, tech genius, tech guru. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can always find us on Comic Character of the Day. It's founded by our good friend Archduke Kevy, but now run by Dan the Kelly Art. He's always got a random panel. He's always got a random question of the day, and he's always got some postings of some salacious type of panels of the day as well. So go over there, join the conversation, join the fun. Comic Character of the Day. Go hit it up. It's good
I
stuff.
can't even spell salacious.
Salacious. The
So the guy
Salacious
from
16.
Jabba the Hutt, Salacious Crumb. Yeah.
There you go. I was thinking dodgeball for the Salacious 16.
Deep cut.
It was on the other day, and I caught that again. All right. So one other thing, let's go ahead and talk about the fundraiser for Mon Comics.
Mm-hmm.
So as you may or may not know, Brandon from Mon Comics, he had a terrible tragedy. He had a house fire, lost his house completely. His wife's camera equipment that she uses for her job was also lost, and I think they lost a car as well.
His wife's car.
Not to mention his collection as well. So there's been a fundraiser out. You can see the QR code up there in the top left corner or top right corner, depending which way you're looking at it.
Yes.
This will bring you to that fundraiser, and this will help tide him over till the insurance money will kick in to get his, get him back on his feet. So please, ladies and gentlemen, even if you're just donating a few dollars, please do it, because every little bit helps. And you know how insurance companies work. They'll take forever to get him money to get set back up. So this will be a good bridge. I know for a fact that he's already, I think he's already gotten a piece of this to restock his wife's camera equipment so she can work and at least have still have income, which is fantastic. But
yes,
but the good thing here is that they were all safe. They all got out safe. Their cats got out safe. So thank God for that. And we're really lucky to still have him with us with that. And yeah, terrible tragedy. So please, you don't have to donate a lot. Like I said, just donate whatever you can. Every little bit helps.
And if you can't donate, at least do us a favor and go ahead and share the link out there for everybody to see.
Absolutely.
Every little bit helps, no matter if it's, $1 or a share, or just spreading the word. It helps.
Yep. Absolutely. More eyes on it, the better. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for doing that. So let's go on to the comic book awards. Because as you all know, Codex Station's up for 5 of them. Even Uncanny Derek is up for 1 as well against us. Yeah. So, we're going to be duking it out in the corner there.
He might be on the show for today and today alone, but
after November 1st, he may not be on the show anymore, but we'll see.
We don't even know his name after November 1st. It might happen.
But here's the categories that we're all up for, and I'll show the one with Derek as well. Actually, no, that's the next one. Pardon me. This is for best live stream. So we're against some pretty good people here. And ladies and gentlemen, these are all great YouTubers. So you got to at least check them out, watch some of their stuff, give them a like as well, because they are amazing as well. So
I'm still shocked that we're in the same running as Comic Pop.
I know, that's insane, isn't it?
That makes my stomach hurt, because I literally was listening to them do it the other day, and they're like, "Oh, we're up for an award," and I'm like, "Oh, we lost."
So here's the one we're up against Derek with for best informative content. This is for guides, deep dives, histories, and analysis. This is for channels that have 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers. Yep, Pam, absolutely. The keys are and they are all safe, which is fantastic. So what's up, Richard? So there's for best informative content, and this is for best live stream. With also the 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers. And we also have best entertaining content, also in the major category of 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers. And then this last one here, I don't know. It's just this, most engaging host. I don't know if that's me, but I am on there, with the Codex Station with this. So I'm just happy to be nominated. So
you should be
engaged. I feel like you've engaged me.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. But like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, get on over to comicbookawards.org and
SK.
Hey, there we go. Sonny Kruger.
The only reason he's in the chat is because of the fact that I asked him for his bracket.
Yep. We need a hashtag for Sonny's beard in 2026. And, that type of thing. So he needs that. He needs that. But yep, ladies and gentlemen, head on over to comicbookawards.org. Put in your vote today. Voting is on till October 11th, and then they announce the winners on November 1st.
So I will either be crying or cheering.
I'm going to be cheering. Come on. I don't know if I'm going to win, but still, I'm just happy to be nominated.
I'm happy to be nominated too. It's the fact of I just don't know what's going to all entail in this, and I'm just like, yay, no.
Well, what surprises me is Brian posted it with 1,500 nominations.
Yes, I just saw that yesterday.
And it's like to be nominated in the final 5, if there's that many that got the ball rolling, it's wild to even be part of the final 5. That's already.
I know.
Good.
I was in the middle of a movie and my phone was going completely insane, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I get out and I'm like, oh, the award nominations. I was like, how many did we get? And I got home, I'm like watching it. I'm like,
yep.
Okay.
Brandon actually texted me like just before you did. They're like,
what's up, Brian?
You got nominated. Like, what's up, Colossus? Good to see you. Made it home time to see you guys. Awesome. We're still in the pre-show. We're still kicking it around here. We're going to start the main show in a few minutes. Yep. We just got through some bracket is in. Yeah. Okay. Sonny, could you fill out another bracket for me? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sales been slacking.
I already told Dan. Dan was like, we were talking about the awards, and he's like, you know, what are you going to do if you win? And I'm like, well, I'm definitely going to put it on my resume. Most engaging host. I mean, that should be a couple of thousand right there. Come on,
Richard. When did you text me?
Yeah, he texted you. Well, no. Did he text? Does he mean for the awards when he was talking about when you were talking about the awards when your phone was blowing up?
Oh yeah. That's what it was.
I think that's what he means.
Yeah, because I was just like in shock that we even had nomination.
Yes. All right. Very good. So, are you guys ready to kick off this main show?
I'm ready for this intro to get demonetized again. So let's do this so I can fight YouTube.
Get some popcorn, ladies and gentlemen.
Derek, every
6 minutes intro.
Every episode we do of this, somehow we get hit with a demonetization, and it has no correlation with the music whatsoever. Like, I think we got hit with La Bamba as a copyright, and I was like, there's no La Bamba in this. Like, this is how.
I know crazy. If you make any sounds that are similar to a song, like with your own voice, that counts too.
Yes.
So you have to kind of watch what you're saying, even if you're just like, I'm gonna sing La Bamba for a moment. Like, it counts, unfortunately.
Wow.
Mr.
Keith, he's in the house. All right, I promise it's not a 6-minute intro. This is only like maybe $1.25. So
$1.25.
$1.25.
Sonny, Jamie, take all the picks and do the exact opposite for sales pick, except both we have Vixen beating Swan. Sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stand by. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Codex Station. It's Comic Character of the Week. I'm your host tonight, Sal the Slab Guy. Joining me right over there is our High Evolutionary J-Dub. But tonight, we've got a special guest star, Uncanny Derek Comics. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to talk about my favorite X-Man. This is great.
Awesome. How'd you like that intro? How'd you like that intro?
That was a very pretty intro, and the music was like how it ebbed and flowed. It was very nice. Very nice.
Thank you. I was actually trying to find some more demonic music for Archangel, but I couldn't find anything that I liked. And what I found didn't flow well. It was like a hard cut from the angel type of music to this other part. I'm like, I'll just go with this.
It worked. It worked.
Thank you.
Felt like I was in church.
Yes. Yeah, I felt it kind of appropriate. So
Felt like I had to say my Hail Marys.
There you go. There you go. All right. Since Dan is not here tonight, it is up to me to actually give you the intro for Angel. All right. He first appeared in X-Men #1 in September of 1963, written by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Warren Worthington III was born in New York to a wealthy family. His wings developed in his adolescence. At first, he thought he was a freak, but then he learned that he could use them to fly and help people. And I believe he was actually being a hero before Professor Xavier recruited him to be on the X-Men. So he goes, when there was a fire in the dorm school he attended at, he quickly put together a costume, found some things in the school drama department, and rescued everyone. He decided to continue as a crime fighter, calling himself the Avenging Angel. This is it. He was then recruited by Professor X to join the X-Men, this is when he finds out that he's a mutant. As far as powers go, his wings allow flight. He's got his strength, his speed, agility, flexibility, endurance, reflexes, coordination, balance, eyesight. Do we have a problem there? What's up?
Okay. The internet just went wonky for a minute.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem. Because I have this up because I'm reading this verbatim from Dan because he usually can read it off without even looking at it. But anyway. Yeah. He can withstand high speed winds and breath at high velocities and altitude. He has a secondary mutation that gives him a healing factor that allows his blood to heal other people. Thought that was retcon, but I'm not sure. We could talk more about that later. After his original wings were amputated, they were replaced by metal techno-organic wings by Apocalypse. He could shoot metal feathers, which are razor-sharp blades that are laced with a neuroinhibitor chemical. So that's how and when he became Archangel. All right. So first on the list now is our first segment. We're going to go with what works best. And since you're our guest tonight, Derek, why don't you tell us what works best for you for Angel or Archangel? Or both, actually.
So Angel, I always look at them as the same person. And the thing I love about Angel and his character is that he is an underdog character, and he's also an underappreciated character in the X-Men world. But he's also like one of the most heavily relied on in that world. And so when I say he's underappreciated, he's not in the comics, but he is by everybody who reads the comics. Everybody's like, he just flies. Like, who cares? And, he has no drama behind him. It's just, he's a boring character. And so he's an underdog in that perspective. But in the books, he's like required to be there. Yeah. And so what works for him greatly is that, you need to have a good writer, because obviously that's really the crux of why the readers don't have a good feeling towards him. Yeah. But what works is that he is, as I think that it was implied in maybe one of the chats or on an Instagram post about this, is that he's the heart of the X-Men, or he's one of the many hearts of the X-Men. He is the guy everybody can rely on. He is the guy that he's kind of like the center, because if you think of the original 5, it's Iceman, Marvel Girl, Cyclops, Beast, and
X-Men.
Yeah, but that was before Blue Beast. That was just
before.
I know.
But and there's Angel, and if you take of the 5 of them, like you can think of the 4 characters, the main ones that are not Angel, they'll have their drama beside them, and then you have Angel here, who is kind of like the grounding factor to the whole thing, despite being the wealthiest one of the bunch, which is kind of ironic amongst all of that too. So I can keep rambling. So
that's all right. That's all right. All right, Jamie, how about you? What did you like best about him?
For me, Angel works best when like the story leans into the duality of Angel and Archangel. Warren is that wealthy, like supposed to be good-looking, charismatic guy who supposed to have this like perfect life, but he's consistently fighting like this darker side of himself. Like writers, like Derek was saying, like who actually explore that push and pull between Warren the idealist and that big-hearted X-Men of Archangel. His like that cold side, that remorse, that bringer of death, like that's what's compelling when there's that contrast in his self.
Yep, I totally agree with that. For me, I think the duality thing does work best for him.
Richard.
I think I really started appreciating him more when he became Archangel, and that kind of led me to go back and reread some of his earlier stuff as well. So I always thought when I first was reading him, I always thought, oh yeah, he's the money man. He's the guy that's got all the cash.
Mr. Keith said,
we need a new computer, and yeah. In a war instance, like, yeah, here you go, whatever. This is what I got carried around my pocket. There you go. That type of thing. And I remember one of the stories with the Dark Phoenix saga where he gets they're going to the Hellfire Club, and he's like, oh yeah, my family belongs to the Hellfire Club. I've never been there, but whatever, that type of situation. But yeah, I think he works best when they do lean into the duality. He is an underrated, underused character, I believe, and they could definitely have him more. I think he could sustain his own series if he had the right writer behind him. I really believe that, and I really like to see that. I mean, we've seen a lot of one shots. I think he's had a mini or two. But seriously, I think he's a character that could stand on his own. He led the champions started the champions as well. So he's good as a team leader, I think, too. So yeah, that's what I like best about him.
And that's like everything you said there. Yeah, he has in the Uncanny run. There's particular writers of the series that had Angel as the leader of the group, and I'm thinking of oh my goodness, Joe Casey's run. There was like from 397 to 415 or something. Angel was the leader of the X-Men, or it went on a little bit with Chuck Austin as well, but Angel was like the guy who was running the show. But again, writers don't know entirely what to do with him. Aside from, I agree with you guys about the duality thing, but I feel like it's also a crutch to a lot of writers. Like, oh, we don't know what to do with him. We'll just throw out the Archangel persona. Let's just make him angry again, and just go with that. And it's like, come on.
And I was going to lean into that when we actually go to stuff that we don't like about it, because I do agree with that. I think they use it too much as a crutch, but I like the initial story or the initial thought of it. Because when you add drama like that to a character, it only brings out the best in that character. But when they use it too much, oh, Wolverine can heal from a drop of blood. Yeah.
Richard.
Justice for Colossus Wall. Yep. Justice for Dexter too. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to badass moments. And Jamie, why don't you kick us off for badass moments?
Dan's not here, so I can actually read mine.
There you go. Go for it. You probably take mine too.
Yeah. So the first one I've got is from X Factor 24.
That's one of mine too.
I know. I figured. For me, this is a defining moment for him. After his wings get amputated, Warren is taken by Apocalypse, who transforms him into one of the 4 Horsemen, which is Death. He emerges with razor-sharp metallic wings, blue skin, and a whole new attitude.
Yeah.
When he first shows up in battle, he doesn't just fight, he dominates the X-Men, proving he's gone from the most vulnerable X-Men to the most deadliest. To me, it's probably one of the most badass one issues of all time for him. Next up, I've got Uncanny X-Force number 18. You got that one, Sal?
No, I do not.
Good. This is from the Dark Angel saga. Warren goes full on final boss here after slowly losing control to Apocalypse's program, and he fully becomes the new Apocalypse, tries to reshape the world in his image. It takes the entire X-Force team throwing everything they have at him to take him down. When Psylocke finally frees him and he dies, because no death is actually real in comics, or unless you're Uncle Ben. It's one of the most powerful, heartbreaking moments in X-Men history. Warren doesn't just fight Apocalypse, he is Apocalypse, and has to be taken down like one. And then for my last one comes from Uncanny X-Men issue 305.
Okay. I know the one you have, but I didn't choose that one.
Yes, he saving the X-Men with his wings. Not every badass moment has to be bloody. Sometimes it just has to be pure, heroism. In this issue, Warren uses his wings as a shield to protect his teammates from deadly attacks, fully embracing the angel side of his persona. His wings are literally shredded in the process, but he refuses to back down until every one of them is safe. It's the perfect mix of Warren's bravery and the tragic cost of being a hero, which is exactly why most of us do love him.
Yep, exactly. All right, very good. Derek, how about you? You got 3 badass moments for us? Or do you have 4?
So, I mean, I have a lot, and I don't really want...
This is why you're here.
Sure. And I mean, these moments are more about Angel. So let's just get into it. So,
do it.
In Uncanny X-Men number 512, that is a Matt Fraction run, and Angel, Beast, and a couple other X-Men go back in time to fight this mecha Sentinel, as like a steampunk Sentinel, and the badass moment in that is when so maybe one of the X-Force people, I think Psylocke was involved, perhaps.
Yep.
But anyway, there was a moment where Angel looks back at whoever it was and didn't want to reveal that he could change between Angel and Archangel in front of Beast. And then he did, and then took out the Sentinel. But the reaction from Beast, like, Warren, what the hell? Like, we need to talk. And he's just like,
man.
Right. He's just like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
But he like takes out the giant master mold Sentinel and like changes back and is just like, we're not talking about this. So
I mean, Beast has no say. He became Dark Beast. So,
yeah,
well, I mean, yeah, but there's the whole,
there's like,
definitely involved with that.
You saw nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I always thought that was a really cool scene. Yep. And I mean, that's more of an Angel decision turning into Archangel, like willingly. So I attribute that more as Angel than Archangel.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Another one is going to be, actually, you mentioned it earlier, and I think it was issue 132. Uncanny X-Men 132. So we're talking Claremont era.
Yep.
And it is about the Hellfire Club, where he's like, kind of casually, yeah, my parents were part of the Hellfire Club. Yeah, I can get you in. Yeah, I have a membership. Because this is one of those moments where he is, like, in early in the issue, I don't want to go too much into what we're going to talk about later, but he just essentially has the money, but he's not flaunting it. He's not saying, like, yeah, I know. He's not egotistical about it.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I have it. Yes, I will help you. Yes, I am your friend. Yes, this is how it is. And although it's not like the total action-packed stuff you would expect from a comic book, it sets a standard that literally has now been part of the Uncanny universe, because we see, and they get reference in Uncanny X-Force too, like the Hellfire Club with Emma Frost and Psylocke later on, and get Tessa involved, and like all of this all comes back to Warren in some regard. And just that one story about the Hellfire Club and Warren's attribution to it defines the whole X-Men villainy side of the Hellfire Club. And it's a very important moment, and it's kind of a badass way without actually being, I'm going to kill you all. Like, it's badass in its own right. And I'm going to give this next one as very newer. So you mentioned about Archangel having his own, or Angel having his own miniseries. Yeah. Mark Russell's newest series of X Factor. It only ran 10 issues.
Okay.
And in the first issue, Angel almost dies in it. And then in the second issue, he's in the hospital. And then I was just trying to pull it up on my phone because, to be honest, I'm winging this. I actually didn't know I had the list. So let me pull it up here. It was issue, I think it was 9. He came back from it. So it was like, he's out of the books for that long. In issue 9, he comes back. And they're like, oh, we thought you could heal up. And they address his healing powers. But they, like, didn't you have healing powers? Like, what took you so long? And he's just kind of like, no, not really. And, like, you kind of forget about it. It's a humorous book. But what he could do is he could turn back into Archangel again. But Mark Russell, the writer of the series, gave him a new, this is a stupid pun, but a spin on it. And he literally could, you guys ever like see Sonic the Hedgehog? It like rolls with the ball. And,
yeah.
That's what he had Angel do, but also shoot his spikes out as he's rolling around in the ball to take out. Anyway, it was ridiculous and real badass, because in the moment in the series, like, there was some build up to it, just like, oh, Angel's back. Well, what's he going to do? Fly around? And he's like, actually, this is where I've been. He's like, I've been in the hospital, but I was actually doing this. And then he turns to the ball and just
razor blades galore. Wow. Yeah. Okay. I'll have to check that out because I've not read that yet.
It's the series. Unfortunately, it's only 10 issues, but it is a meta commentary on the meta of comic books. It's so tongue in cheek. It's yeah.
I just want to see that. I just want to see that visual of him spinning.
Pretty sure it's 9.
Okay, I'll look that up. Awesome. Was that 3 then? Was that 3?
Yeah.
All right, very good. So, one of mine, Jamie already touched on was X Factor 24 and 25. I'm going to go with both. He becomes death, but he's full on into it. So what I liked about this badass moment was he was so, I want to say, ingrained to be death, that Iceman mimics himself as an ice body, and he just slices right through it because he's like, dude, I am the angel of death. I'm gonna kill you, and he just rams through the ice body. But then that shock of killing his best friend, brings him out of it, and he's like, no, this is not me. I can't do this. And then, Iceman pops out of the corner. Hey, you fooled you. The type of thing. And Apocalypse tries to like mimic, or not mimic him, but like, insult him and says, hey, they tricked you. They tricked you. They did this to trick you. And he's like, no, they brought me back and I'm going against you. That type of thing. He was like, no. So that the whole shock of him doing that shocked him out of being the death persona back into Angel. I love that. That was a pretty badass moment for me. Of course, I have, I believe it was X Factor 10 and probably Uncanny X-Men 210, where he's risking his life to save the underground mutant community, the Morlocks, and he saves Artie. He faces the Marauders by himself to save Artie, and that is just a badass moment for me in itself. What was there was one more in there that I wanted to do, and I can't remember what it was. It was like early X Factor Volume 1. He's wearing the big backpack, to hide his wings type of thing.
Oh, Brandon, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Brandon, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you online, buddy. Good to see you online. Hey, check it out. We got that little link right there for you, buddy. So anybody who wants to help out Brandon, do it. Okay? Look at panel. All right. Yes. Don't worry, buddy. Whenever you're ready to come back on with us, we'll have you on.
Yep. Chat updated for me for some reason, and it just went whoop, and I'm like, oh, Brandon's here.
There you go. So, so the whole premise of X Factor Volume 1 was they were out to capture the evil mutants that are around and take the corporation's money while doing it, and they're in like a boardroom, and he's just like, we just captured a mutant, you could pay us now, and they're like, well, we're not going to pay you, and he was like, well, we could put that mutant right back out on the street if you want, and they're like, oh no, here's the money, and they all get back to their headquarters, and they're just laughing it up how they just scammed the big corporate people to pay them to save a mutant which they thought they were eliminating, which I find that badass as well. So that's it for me. All right, so jumping on to our next segment, and this is going to be what we don't like. All right, so this is stuff we don't like. So, Derek, why don't you go first and tell me what you don't like?
So, I mean, we touched upon it a little bit already about the writers leaning into the Archangel persona, and I'm not going to actually elaborate any further than that because I'm sure we're going to talk about it a lot more throughout the stream. So
we will.
That's one.
Right.
The other moment that the thing I don't like about how they treat Archangel, being the writers or how viewers perceive Angel, is that I don't know if you guys ever read Chuck Austin's run of X-Men, and that's where they did come up with the idea of Angel having the healing blood.
Right. And, yes. Okay. Yep. I remember now.
Then they went into the whole Angel and Husk having a relationship.
Yeah, that was kind of creepy.
Yeah, and then what I don't like is when people focus on, like, Chuck Austin's run was not the greatest, but that particular run for that particular character, they did a lot of damage, and it seems to be that's what I don't like is the focus on what one particular writer with I don't know what was with editorial at the time. But what one writer can do to a character for assassination of the character, and just like people have that perception now. It's been 20 plus years since that run, and people agree. Like I can bring up the Husk thing, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that was a weird time for Angel." Yeah. It's like, yeah, I know, we all know, but that it's canon, and we have to deal with it.
Right,
these are the cards we've been dealt.
Yeah, we accept it. And we move on. That's what we got to do. We can't let that little stain blemish this whole character, Well,
that brings me to the third point.
Okay.
And it's costume from the 60s with those goddamn suspenders. Because that is probably some of the most atrocious
It was the 60s, man. It was
ever.
the 60s.
But even this, like, everybody else was good. Like, even not even the X-Men. Like, Avengers was, like, Wonder Man actually made more sense in the 60s than what Angel was wearing. The stupid, like, if you have wings, suspenders would get in the way. Like, it doesn't make... The costume of the 60s is one of the worst things that ever happened to Angel. And obviously they simplified his design much further on. And they just, like, it's now just, 2 colors and you put the halo in the center and that's that. But this, and I have it on my cover that we're going to show later. But that is one of the, like, objectively one of the worst things that have ever happened to Angel.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. I will go next for that. And I'm going to have to agree with you about the artist and writing of them. But yes, the Huss thing was creepy, but yes, we got to deal with it type of situation. So I won't speak more on that. The costume thing, now that you brought it up, yeah, I'm going to agree with you 100% on that one. That was kind of, yeah, right up there with Sprite's costume. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. There were some things I don't like that, and this is going to be purely on the artist side. They're not... Well, yeah, that's true. Hashtag for Angel's costume. Anyhow, on the artist side, I feel like they just don't be consistent with drawing his wings. First you got the classic Angel type wings. Archangel had a similar metal pattern, but then on some of the covers and some of the ways drawn, where the hell are these wings coming from? They're like popping out of his back and everything like that type situation.
Well, usually wings come from the back, from what I've read.
No, I mean, like, lower. These are coming from the upper back. Yeah, I know that. Thank you, commentary.
If he had wings on his chest, I'd be concerned.
Thank you. Oh, how about wings on the ankles, like Submariner? Huh? What about that?
Oh, no more?
No more. Anyhow,
we don't speak of him.
What I'm thinking is, it's like different layers of wings that I just don't like, and they keep switching it around. They changed from the classic to this oversized or overset of wings, and I don't like that. It kind of really bugs me sometimes because it's like, where the hell are these coming from?
Yeah, the scale is always changing. It depends on the perspective of the artist at the time. Absolutely,
right,
yeah.
Right.
Sometimes they're just ridiculous.
Right.
Like if he had a full splash page, like I'd understand having like the enormous wings going out, but sometimes you get those little panels where he's got to do it, and you're just like, why does his wing look like that Keanu Reeves movie that just came out? Like they're just like little like
that. Yeah, I know. And the last thing, while I like the knife blades that come out of his wings, they kind of got in the way. Did they get away from the neurotoxin that they secrete when he hits people with them? I don't know. That kind of fell to the wayside for me. I thought that was a pretty badass power to it, but I don't remember if it's actually continued. They've retconned it, changed it, and forgot about it, swept it under the rug. I don't know. So
it depends on the writer, and I also find that like either they're like deadly lethal, like instant one hit kill, or and I never understood how you could control them as well. Like here's a bunch of razor blades, and like someone like they managed to hit just the right targets, and like I don't know how you do that, but very good.
No, exactly. Again, it boils down to the artist or the writer. So nothing really about the character I dislike, but how he's drawn or written can be a problem for me.
Sure, yeah.
All right. So speaking of top covers,
can I have my say?
No, because you made fun of me earlier. So
I didn't make fun of you. I
Go ahead.
Make fun of you. You're the best.
Go ahead.
No, mine's simple, and that's the fact that he has to be a teammate with Cyclops. Like, I mean.
What's wrong with Cyclops?
I hate Cyclops.
Cyclops is great, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, refer back to the Cyclops episode where I was in major hate mode for that character the entire hour and 35 minutes.
Really?
You were.
And I can't stand Cyclops.
So I would say if you don't like Cyclops, read Uncanny X-Men from. I'm gonna say.
Oh, I got more love for him now, but like people are like, hey, read the Dark Phoenix saga, and I couldn't stand it because every 5 seconds he was crying, and I'm like, bro, like I understand you're making a sandwich right now, but you don't need to cry. putting the mayo on it. Like you're good.
It had
like,
onions. It had onions.
You're good. And it was just they put so much emotion into it. But that's not even side tangent. I just want to throw that out there. But the real reason we've already said is that the writers treat him more of like this rich guy with money, and that he could just fly people around. Like he's more than that. You can't just rely on those two. He's Batman with wings. They try to make him, and it's not fair. You know what I mean? Like it isn't. And when you just put him into that bubble, it's not interesting to me. It's you're literally, like I said, it's Batman with wings. Except these wings work.
Pam.
Thank you, Pam. At least someone understands me.
Yep.
Good pun.
Yep. All right. Very good. Does that complete your what you don't like?
Yes, I can go on all day. I can do a whole video about Cyclops, but
I was gonna say let's talk more about Cyclops since you love him so much. You know, come on.
My favorite X-Men.
No, we're gonna go on to top covers, okay? And
real fast, let's jump and talk about that little QR code up there in the corner, buddy.
I actually had that after top covers.
Oh, did you?
But,
yeah. Well, then never mind. I don't have the notes.
I know. I have. I'm the host. Got the notes.
I just wanted to.
He's the most engaging host, actually.
That's right.
He's about to get engaged into the unemployment line here in a minute.
God. No, I do have that slide after. Me. I have it over.
You and your tiny wings can go away.
Don't make my lights. Don't make my lights turn red.
You wouldn't like it when his lights turn red. All right, go ahead.
All right, let's go to top covers, and we'll swing around to the QR code right after that. And Derek, you're going to go first for top covers. Let me find your top covers list. There you go.
Hey.
Why don't you go ahead and talk about them there?
Yeah, so the one on the, I guess everybody's left, was the Angel Reborn. That's the Joe Mad cover. And that is the issue where Angel sheds his metal wings, and they reveal that they are the regular winged ones underneath. I always felt that was a really awesome, like Joe Mad's artwork, like defined the 90s easily. Yeah. And, he had obviously a weird mix of traditional line work and his anime style. And I feel like that Angel specifically on that cover, just, you never see Angel get his own cover, really. It's either like he's part of a group, like it is in the middle image, or he's kind of thrown around in the background. He never gets his own thing to highlight or to be the spotlight, and that cover does it all. I love the coloring in it. I love how you're getting this. It says Angel Reborn on there, and he has this like anger and pain that you can see through his face and through his hand gestures. And that kind of goes along in the story where he doesn't really understand why he has the wings, and Ozymandias is in there and is confusing the hell out of him. But I just feel that's such a powerful cover for Angel, for a guy who is, arguably considered an underdog all the time. Like there he is in all of his raw power and glory.
I do like the perspective here of the wings on the cover. Like that's how it should be, even if it is like we were talking about earlier with the smaller kind of like panels where they can't distinguish them enough. Like have them go outside the panel. Like have them have the imagination flow on now, because that's to me that's perfect.
Yeah. And to jump to the far right there, the Uncanny X-Force. I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be an homage cover or not, but I always felt like it kind of was, because obviously they're doing very similar gestures on there, and it is the death of Angel, the rebornness of the Archangel persona. So that's where I really liked that cover, because it was kind of a parallel to the one that by Joe Mad here, and that's an Assad Ribbit cover, the Uncanny X-Force cover. Obviously the colors, the artwork on the entire run has been gorgeous. Yeah. But I love just the terror that is Archangel on there, and how obviously he's killed the Angel, the Warren Worthington persona that is now at his hands. So I just find that, on the far left there, you have the Joe Mad cover. He's reborn. He has this raw anger and power part of him that is, he's becoming anew. And on the right side, you have the same kind of idea, anger and raw power, but it's becoming anew in a darker way. And I love the two parallels there.
Yeah.
But then we have the third cover, the one in the middle. So there's the awful costume, but I have always loved this Jim Steranko cover. if you were to put Angel in any other costume there, it would be amazing. Like really, it's Angel's costume that's holding it back. But I have always loved the just the grace that all the characters have on this cover, save for Beast. He's kind of a little sloppy there. And to have the demi-men, like those are the eyes of the demi-men, but it's Mesmero is the villain in there, looking up at them. It's just such a really unique cover for that series at that particular time. Obviously, Jim Steranko taking over. And I think it was John Buscema did a cover at 43 with like Magneto running around and the X-Men are flying around him. Like they came up with some very unique covers at the time, and I thought that one was for showing off Angel, probably one of the more powerful ones. Again, costume aside, though.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I see what you mean about the suspenders now. Some more, so yep.
Yeah, how does the wings work, right? Like it doesn't, like that would get in the way.
Yep, they would.
Imagine just trying to get the costume on.
Yeah. Hang on, guys. I gotta put my yellow shirt on. I gotta put my wristbands on, my suspenders. I have underwear, and then I have leggings to put on, plus my boots, and then I have this mask.
I feel like there's a lot of Velcro involved in this, and I'm just not for
it. Lots of Velcro.
A lot of.
Yeah, exactly. Angel's getting changed.
I will fight you in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Just give me a second while I get ready.
Wardrobe malfunction. Wardrobe malfunction. Yeah. All right, Jamie, you are next.
Awesome.
And here are your top covers.
All right. Well, first off, all the way on the left, we got Uncanny X-Force number 19. This is the variant. I don't want to switch my tabs over because I lost internet somehow last time, so I'm not going to try to go and remember who it is, but I just love this perspective of the Angel side of them.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier with the whole, perspective of the wings and everything else. Like, if you look at the rest of the covers, you kind of even see in the middle one, like it's kind of different in the sense of it, but this gives that full outlook of what he embraces. Next up, we got in the middle, Uncanny X-Force number 1. I just love the stylized, like the costume in this always makes me happy on any, character on Uncanny X-Force. But it kind of reminds me of what Derek had for his, what was it, 49 for X-Men?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of it's that homage to it. I feel like kind of with that team aspect at the bottom, except you got Deadpool who can't hold his own. And then
who's that next to Wolverine? I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
There's Phantom X on the right.
Yeah,
Phantom X. Okay, Phantom X. I'm like, I don't recognize that guy.
Yeah, no, he wasn't he supposed. I forget. I haven't read it in forever. Wasn't he like technically like Xavier at one point?
Or he gave up his
like
body.
that?
He gave up his body.
Yeah, he gave up his body for it or something like that. But yeah. Sorry, tangent.
Tangent.
And last we have X Factor number 24.
Yes.
And I just love this. He just like flying at you through the cover, and then you got everyone in the background just like, can you do something, please?
Help!
Like we're stuck. He's just like, be back, BRB. But no, just that idea of him coming in to save everybody, and they know he's gonna do something, either good or bad, as Archangel Angel.
Right.
It gives you that sense of unclarity where it's like, well, is he gonna be good or is he bad in this issue? Like,
Yep. Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead and I'll jump to mine. Then we'll take a look at Dan's after mine.
Okay.
There's my top covers. Here we go.
Oh, I forgot Dan sent you his too.
Yeah. I'll put it up. All right, so let's start with that far left one. X-Men: The Hidden Years, number 13. This is a John Byrne cover. I love this one because one, for the perspective, because he's like shooting straight up into the air. You can see the characters down below. They're like shocked, and it gives you the speed. You can see the speed or the force that he's flying at, which is just incredible. Everybody's just kind of shocked. You got that, good facial expression on him, like almost flying at that type of thing. But yeah, so I love that mostly for the perspective of it. It's just a great cover, and I happen to like that particular costume for Angel as my best one. So All right, the middle one, X Factor number 52. We all know who was the penciler for this one, Mr. I Can't Draw Feet, but I like this one.
Well, he has at least 3 feet technically in the panel or in the cover.
Technically, yes. So Bob Liefeld did the penciling, Al Milgram did the inking, and Brad Vachina was the colorist. But I like this cover because it's just a badass saber-tooth Archangel cover. And what is your MCU X-Men team you want to roll out with? Yeah, okay.
That's actually a good question.
That's a good question.
We'll save that for after the covers.
Yep. We'll save that for after the covers. So, so it's just a pretty awesome cover. They look like they're all the way up in the air as well because there's just nothing behind them, but looks like to me clouds. And then the wings on him, again, not bad because you can see where they're actually emanating from, and I can accept that situation, but we won't going to digress into that. My last cover, there it is, Walt Simonson, same as Jamie. It's an amazing cover. It's just very, very cool. And I have to point out that when he first appeared as Death, he had the full mask on, and the rest of the X Factor was like really mad at Apocalypse for desecrating Angel. Like they don't know he's Angel. They think he's like a mockery of Angel. That he's not their friend that just died. So it was pretty cool reveal when to them how he was actually warranted. So this is just a great cover for the fact he's flying through it like that, and the energy that's coming off of him as he's flying, pretty wicked.
I always thought it was interesting that he premiered in that issue as Archangel, but he had like a mask on, and like it only really lasted that issue and maybe the next, and that was it. Like that was it. Mask.
Right.
It was really cool though. Not saying you should still wear it, but it was just a cool mask to have on.
It was a cool mask, right. But I guess it just represented Apocalypse death too much, so
sure,
that's why they dropped it. All right, so here is Dan's top covers. I don't have the info on. See, there we go. That all new Wolverine. Look at the wings. What's the extra set?
Oh, I should have chosen that Marvels. Oh my god!
Yeah, that Marvels. Yeah, Dan, that was Dan's favorite.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I think everyone did.
Oh my god, that one wins.
Yes, that one does win. And then the giant size X-Men on the far right there looks like every iteration of Angel type situation, which I think they've been doing for lots of different characters.
Yeah, that's a Brian Hitch cover, the one on the
right. That's right.
Jim Lee in the center.
So, do you guys see what I mean about the wings in that middle cover?
Yeah, I can understand it.
It's just weird to me, but anyhow,
the weirder with suspenders.
Cool. Yeah, that's true. It's still a very cool cover, and I like the energy crackling off the wings. That's pretty badass in itself. So I like it. All right, Jamie, throw that question back up for Derek.
Yes.
What is your MCU X-Men team you want them to roll out with? You better say Angel.
I don't care.
Great answer. Moving on.
I don't care about the movies. I really don't care. I have never cared about it all, so I'm sorry.
Marvel Alex cover is fire. Yep, Colossus. That's true. Yep, the Marvel's cover is favorite iteration of Angel, hands down. That's so true. That's a good one.
I can't believe I forgot about that. That irks me that I forgot that.
Could make the original costumes work. All right, so now we've done top covers. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to Brandon from Mon Comics. Ladies and gentlemen, you see a little QR code right up here in the corner. This is a GoFundMe set up for him and his family. He had a terrible tragedy where he lost his house, and it was a complete loss. They had a house fire, and they even lost a car and some of his wife's equipment. It was terrible, but there's a GoFundMe out there, and even if you can only donate a few dollars, every little bit helps, because there's going to be a point where, how insurance companies work, where they just take their time giving you the money because they got to verify every nook and cranny. This will help him out, definitely. I know it's already has, because I think they've already replaced his wife's camera equipment so that she could work, because she is a photographer, like a wedding photographer type situation. So she is able to work and actually generate some income for them. But good news is Brandon, wife, children, and cats are all safe, and that's the most important thing. Even though the house was a total loss, he did lose his collection. All that's replaceable, and that's what this GoFundMe will help him do, is replace everything that he has lost. So if you get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, hit that QR code, donate as much as you can, or don't bust your own bank doing it, but send it whatever you can, because every little bit helps. Okay.
Yeah. And if you can't donate any kind of money, please share this with the community, with whoever you know that could possibly help them out as well too. And Brandon, if you are still in the chat or watching this on replay, get me your address. I got some stuff for your collection, bud.
Okay,
So,
but he's probably not going to take that right now, because
I know, but when he gets a chance, I got some stuff for him.
That's fine. That's fine. That's cool. That's cool. All right, so awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Please check that out. All right, so our next thing up is going to be essential readings for the character, and Derek, you're going to go first on this one again. Where are your there you are. Boom. Let's hear
it. So, X Factor number 15. That is the issue where Angel loses his life, so to speak.
Yes. Yep.
So that is after he loses his wings from the Morlock massacre.
Yep.
He is in the hospital. Essentially, the story is dealing with grief, and then also is the setup for him becoming Archangel. But what I liked about this is that it was essentially everything in Angel's life falling apart to him. Like he's Cameron Hodge is taking X Factor away from him. Like Warren loses his business because he's outed as a mutant. So he loses Warren Industries or Worthington Industries.
Yeah.
He's lost his wings. Obviously he has a disconnect from X Factor. And I mean, obviously X Factor was a lot of soap opera drama. And, it was him and Jean were suggested to maybe be getting to be something. But it's Angel's big downfall. And it's a big shocking ending, especially if you're a reader of the book, because you think Angel dies here, and you can't help but feel bad for him, because it's his entire life comes crashing down for him in the story. So I recommend reading that, because it really, everybody feels bad in their lives, and everybody has to pick themselves up. And this is kind of a very common thing to happen. I mean, not everybody loses their wings, obviously, because they're saving Morlocks in the sewer, but everybody has times where they fall. And this X Factor book, it makes Warren very human, so to speak, like to the reader. So for people who haven't read Warren, they just think he's a guy who flies. Well, take away his wings and you see how he is, and he's not just a guy who flies. So X Factor 15 for that.
Let me ask you one question here. Did I remember reading this right? Did they say that the doctors were influenced by Apocalypse to remove the wings?
Yes. Yeah, they were.
I seem to remember that. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's correct.
Okay.
Then we have X-Men number 132, Uncanny X-Men. This is the first time Angel shows back up in the comic books since the 60s. So after issue 66, they go into reprints from 67 to 93. Obviously, you have giant size X-Men, where like the actual giant size X-Men from the 70s, that's there, where he's kind of in it, but he's not really. And then he's not in it at all until issue number 132. There's a robot of him in issue 100. But it's 132 where he comes back. And so what there's Colossus, referencing Colossus. Ryan with Colossus there. So in this issue, Angel comes back, and it's the X-Men are and they're in trouble with they need a place to stay, and this is where you first run into Angel and really get a sense of his wealth, of course, but you get a sense of he's being the good guy. He's not flaunting his riches. He's like, no, you guys can use my home, like treat it as your own, please. And then he also, this is where I think it's this issue as well, where he's like, yeah, I know the hell. Yeah, because issue 133 is the Wolverine. Yeah. So this is the Hellfire Gala, where he's like, yeah, my parents are part of the Hellfire. Yeah, I can get you in. So he's very much a background character in this story. Like he is literally, I do remember him standing behind Professor X on computer screens. He's kind of advising the professor with a few things. And it's like, again, Angel isn't the guy who's flying around. Oh, all he can do is fly. Like, no, he actually is, like, again, the heart and obviously the financial backing, but he is also the guy who's trying to ground all the characters, which is ironic because he's the guy who has wings. So this is a very cool story, because you really get, in your first appearance, especially new readers, You haven't seen Angel in forever, so to have him show up like this, I mean, maybe you read Champions, but to have him show up in this capacity, and you get him with his girlfriend Candy Southern there too, so you understand he's in a relationship, and like there's just a lot going to humanize Warren in this particular issue. So recommended reading for that. And then Giant Size X-Men #1 is not the one from the 70s. It's the one that Dan had as his cover there.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one that was released last year, 2024. And it was written by Ann Nocenti, who was an editor-in-chief of the X-Men, or editor of the X-Men books. Jim Shooter was the editor-in-chief. Editor of the X-Men books in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And this is a 20-page story that is about Angel. And it's all about just kind of his history, but it doesn't really delve into the Archangel persona. All three of these stories are Angel stories, not Archangel stories. And it, in Giant Size specifically, it delves into, it's essentially if anybody were to write Angel properly nowadays, like Anne really hit it on the head, like addressing his past traumas, like dealing with his self-worth, and having to push himself up amongst the clouds because he's not. In a way, Anne addresses what people feel about Warren and how you're just a guy who flies. You're just the wallet of the group. And she directly addresses Warren's thoughts in this story. So I feel this is essential for people to understand Warren and to get a broader perspective of the character overall.
I totally agree with that. All right, Jamie, you are next. And I had your card highlighted, but then I lost it. Where is your card?
Up. I don't have to go.
There you are. Nope. Found it. There you are.
All right. So the first one I kind of already went over earlier for badass moments because that's what it basically entailed. But that was Apocalypse, Archangel's X Factor 19 through 24. Again, this is where, Warren's life completely changes. After losing his wings in battle, and Apocalypse swoops in and makes him, one of the 4 Horsemen and being Death. It's a great read. Definitely go check it out. I don't think I have to go any further with that one stemming from earlier. But the next one we got is the Apocalypse Solution. This is Uncanny X-Force from 2010 from Rick Remender and Jerome Opeña. This is where Archangel's Darkseid really takes center stage. Wolverine leads a kill squad of mutants, including Deadpool, Psylocke, and Phantom X from the cover you've seen that I posted earlier as well. And Archangel's part of the team. The big twist is Archangel slips further and further into the mindset of Apocalypse himself. To me, this is like the moral complex between the two characters of what I was talking about earlier with why I like the character so much. And it pushes Warren to his absolute limit. Honestly, if you want to see Archangel at his most terrifying and tragic, I think you should grab this run. It's not a long run whatsoever. So, and then lastly, X-Men: The Dark Angel Saga. This is Uncanny X-Force 10 through 18 from 2011. Just this one specifically because I thought it was so cool. This is the sequel to Apocalypse Solution, and it's one of the best modern X-Men stories to me because being relatively new to X-Men, that's what I'm gonna say. Warren fully becomes the heir of Apocalypse. The X-Force team has to stop him before he remakes the world into his image, but Apocalypse's image as well. The Dark Angel Saga to me is just like this epic that you really can't miss out on because it really cements Warren's place as one of the most tragic X-Men characters of all time. If you thought Jean Grey had it bad with the Phoenix, check out this story with Warren.
Yep. Absolutely. Good one. All right. I guess I will go next. Then we'll show Dan's after. Had my card. There is my card. Okay. So you're the guy that flies. That's the Warren I got. All right. So I went also with the X Factor 19 through 24 because that's the whole, birth of Archangel. We've already touched a lot into that, so I won't jump into that too much. That's just a great defining moment, for Warrington becoming Archangel. If you wanted to read the origin for that, this is what you want to go to. All right, so next one down, Champions. Surprised you guys didn't have that on there. 1 through 17 was a short run, but damn, that was pretty cool because he leads a team. He co-leads a team with Hercules, and this team is Iceman, Hercules, Black Widow, and Ghost Rider. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I love that. So he's the moral compass. Hey, he's the moral compass. He acts as the voice of reason. Amidst all the chaos that happens with the book, he co-leads this with Hercules, but when he's on the leadership role, he's balancing the team's powers and personalities, which I loved. And when he's helping organize the team's first mission, he's displaying a lot of like strategic skills and aerial combat skills. It's just amazing to me, and I love that. And I wish they would lean into that more. So yeah, as you go on into the series, you're going to see like he's taking more, involving more personal responsibilities, ethics, and stuff like that, and team interaction with civilians. I think this series allowed Angel to grow outside the X-Men. I really think this kind of kickstarted his growth outside, just being one of the original four. So yeah, definitely check this out. It's only 17 issues. It's a really good read. I would definitely recommend it. And of course, I've got the X-Force 10 through 24 Dark Angel Saga for all the reasons that already been stated. I don't think I have anything else to add to that. Let me just check my notes here pretty quick. Yeah, at the end of that series, he seemingly dies, but he comes back with amnesia, so the whole amnesia crutch. I love it. You gotta have
like a late afternoon soap opera.
That's right.
Amnesia.
Yeah, I think his memory back, and they never explain how it happened.
That's true. That is so true. I think Jamie covered it pretty well, so I'm not going to add any more to that. We're going to go right to Dan's recommended reading. Where are you, Dan? There you are, Dan. There you are. He went with X-Men 54 through 56, X Factor 10 through 25. That's, we all have that on there. And of course, he went with the Dark Angel Saga as well. But he chose X-Force 11 through 18. So,
yeah.
That's his choices on that. Good stuff, Dan. All right. Very cool.
Let me get these chats up real fast because I felt behind
go ahead.
Showing
Yep.
Mr. Keith, who would win in a fight between Angel and Aquaman? And why is it the Submariner? False. Next up. Oh, that's you.
Cyclops won.
Well, actually, there you brought up a good point. Aquaman won in DC versus Marvel in the 90s. And then this one, because I don't even know that. I forget. Was it? Yeah. Okay. So it was the one readers could vote on. So yes.
And Cyclops won, right?
Cyclops wasn't part of the.
I hope he's just buried somewhere.
No, he shows up at the end. He wins it all by placing one good octave beam where he needs to be.
One good tier placement.
Pow. All right, moving on. Is that it for the chats that we're caught up on that? So
yes.
Let's go ahead and jump to our next segment, which is Best Writer and Artist. Derek, who do you like? Who you got for writer and artist?
Yeah, so I mentioned Joe Casey earlier, and he did the X-Men run from 397 to I think 415. And for Angel, like I said, he made him the leader of the group, and it was a time when the X-Men was kind of a random group of members. It was, if I remember correctly, it was Angel, Chamber, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Iceman, and I think that was it. And then Stacy X gets created and put into the team too.
Right.
And Banshee shows up a little later. And that's where what's the X-Corps? Is X-Corps? Yeah, they showed up there too.
X-Corp, yeah.
So it was a unique group of people, but Angel was written as a leader there, and that was kind of actually I'm admittedly biased to that run because that's kind of where I really started enjoying X-Men story.
Right.
So I'd say Joe Casey there for sure. Then I would say that I mentioned Ann Nocenti just because like nobody is doing Warren currently well, and that was a one shot, that Ann Nocenti story. So she did a great job. She nailed the character. So like she did it. I'd say, and obviously Claremont did it fine in the 70s as well. But you guys are probably going to say it, but Rick Remender during Uncanny X-Force, he dealt with obviously the dichotomy between the dark and light. But I really the story was mostly like the whole run was mostly Psylocke and Phantom X. So we get a lot of Psylocke's perspective, but having Angel and her on again, off again, and then just having this whole like, this is, I want to put it in a way where essentially this is how beautiful life can be. And that was, near the end of his life when, she tried to have him live through live as an old man before he died.
Right.
I remember that.
Mhm.
Just there's a lot of buildup and characterization between love and hate and not just with the Archangel persona. Once the Archangel persona came together, it was not about Angel really anymore. But all the times when he was alive and part of the Angel, I feel like he really understood the strife the character was going through, but also understood the relationships that him and Psylocke had, but also understood the relationships of how Angel was with the X-Men as a whole. So I can ramble more, but yeah. So that.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. All right, Jamie, what do you got?
Well, because it was like really my first big jump into Warren's story at all. I Derek was saying, I got Rick Remender for my writer, and then I got Opeña for my artist because I thought he drew him fantastic. Like, I mean, I can go back, but I'm always the odd man out here.
That's all right. No, that's all right. Did Mark Brooks he did some in that Dark Angel saga too, didn't he? I thought he did.
There was Assad, Ribic, Opeña, Phil Noto, but Angel wasn't around during that.
Okay.
No, just for those two. Brooks may have done a couple issues, maybe,
or maybe a cover. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Well, okay, I have him noted for some reason, but I didn't add to my notes. I actually did like Rick Remender as well, but I actually, for my writer, I went with Louise Simonson.
Yeah.
For the X Factor run, I really enjoyed that. And for artist, I went old school and I went with Byrne.
Wow.
So
Brooks did do some Uncanny X-Force, but I also remember Brooks also doing Wolverine and the X-Men, where Angel was brought in as like the renewed.
Okay, all right, so maybe that's where I'm getting confused from. I probably should have picked out an artist for Archangel because I think Byrne only did Angel.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I'm not going to pick one now. It'll take me time to look that up. So, yeah, good choices on that, guys. That's awesome. Good stuff there. So, do we have any more last-minute points, or do we have anybody from the chat or in-studio audience tonight that want to add any other comments there?
Angel is the best. Gosh darn it.
What's
Angel
that?
is the best. Gosh darn it.
Make it a hashtag.
What books you got behind there?
Nice. He's amazing. Look at that. He's fighting Iron Man. He's gonna win too. It's amazing.
Yep.
My favorite.
Absolutely.
Who's got the biggest wallet in that?
in that fight? Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we can go ahead and wrap this one up and put it to bed. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Derek, for joining us as well. Really appreciate that. Both of you guys had great stories, great badass moments, great covers, awesome stories about Angel and Archangel. Good stuff all around. Who we got for next week? We got Sandman coming up next week. That's going to be an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, no, I think Richard has, more.
Of course, Richard. What's your opinion on Angel's costume? Suspenders. Let's go for it. Come on.
Gotta be.
You're all about the suspenders, aren't you? I think he's not going to answer that one.
Thank you, Mr. Keith.
Thank you, Mr. Keith. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate you guys joining us as well. All right, folks. Once again, I'm your host, Sal the Slab Guy. Right there next to me is our high evolutionary J-Dub and our special guest star of the night, Uncanny Derek at Derek Comics. Check him out on YouTube and Instagram. He's got some good stuff over there. Don't forget about the comic book awards. Vote for all of us. Vote for all of us because we all deserve it. Right.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Take care, and we will see you guys next week.
And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.
Absolutely.